Today, we will be looking at child burials in Radom, Masovian Voivodeship, Poland, specifically Site 4. Radom lands are very lush with marshes and bogs. Many of the researchers have thought that this place was previously uninhabited, but that was quickly changed within the 1960s as more archaeological sites were discovered. A small handful of burials were found in the early 1920s, but by the end of the 1970s, 47 sites have been accounted for. Founded in 1978, the Polish archaeological records gathered evidence that the area has been inhabited since at least the late end of the Paleolithic. Major settlement developments had appeared a few times in history, including in the early Middle Ages. Site 4 is the specific area we are looking at. It consists of a settlement and burial ground just shy of the city. Inside the burial grounds, a total of 81 individuals were identified, 11 of them as children and infants. According to the authors of an article, this is a lack of children's graves compared to the other burial grounds of the time period. Many of the children's bones had physical signs of disease and metabolic disorders. Grave goods were also poor, signifying that it was a low-class suburban area. Temple rings were found in 2 of the children's graves. These adornments also appeared in another grave at a site in Złota Pinczowska, where a child was buried in a coffin with 12 temple rings around their head and a dismembered man at the foot inside the coffin. A knife was also found in one of the children's graves, but it was not stated how it was positioned. In many burials of the time, sickles were sometimes placed at the throat of the dead, and knives were as well occasionally stabbed through the skull, all to prevent them from coming back from the dead, and or to kill them twice over if they even tried. The last of the grave goods were shards of clay vessels that were also commonly found in just above half of the children's burials. One source says that they could be attributed to the rise of Christianity, the vessels once being a small pot or jar filled with holy water or incense to fight off evil spirits in the case of monks. It is undetermined otherwise for regular people what these vessels may have been or held. Some suggested they were used to hide abortions or infanticide, but it is unlikely due to the amount of vessels found not just in this region. The author was trying to gather any sort of information for the lack of archaeological and anthropological research in Radom, with the main focus in medieval children's burials. The limitation on this study was mainly due to the fact that many bodies simply have been consumed by biological and environmental factors. I would love to learn more about the position of the burials, such as were there any that were not the typical north-south facing? Where were the grave goods positioned? How close were each grave to one another? Were the children burials separated from adult burials? Were they mixed with family plots? And so on, so forth. I also have to wonder, are the clay vessels like a medieval version of zniecie? Zniecie are glass jars with candles inside of them that can be replaced when they melt down to nothing. In modern day, there are many that are lit and placed around the cemetery and church for a whole year, as they're meant to warm the spirit and prevent them from getting mad at their folks, to which turns them evil and they come back to haunt them. Part of the practice as well is hosting a party called a stypa, which also plays a part in making sure the dead stay dead and do not come back as a vampire or upior. Folklore vampire are more akin to zombies than pop culture vampires, and the word is often associated in Polish media with serial killers. Upior is like a more demonic cousin to vampire, but is more widespread amongst Slavic and Turkic cultures. Either way, many of the living do not want their dead brethren coming back and causing chaos, so with the party and the lanterns, may they rest well for eternity. Back to the jars. It doesn't sound like they are directly put in the graves, but maybe in the past they were. Who knows? Many things are unclear and will probably remain as such. Special thanks to my local resource and friend, Zinya.